In the last few years, the European Commission, EC, has significantly increased the funding and focus of its development efforts on fragile and conflict-affected countries. In support of this, in 2011, a dedicated horizontal unit, Fragility and Crisis Management, was established within DG DEVCO, EuropeAid, to work in close coordination with the European External Action Service and the Directorate General for Humanitarian Aid and Civil Protection. Acknowledging the importance of working with other actors on the ground and sharing experiences to perform better, the EC also works in partnership with multilateral partners such as the UN or the World Bank and bilateral donors like USAID.
For me, I think it's important for us to not only just talk the talk, but walk the talk. So I think this is a good step forward. We'll see how it goes. We are hoping that there'll be substantial changes in the country offices that we are working. We are here together, but when we go back to our own countries, we are busy with our own work. We hope to continue the good practices that we've discussed here and to keep in touch with each other and then coordinate not only in the stage of discussions, but in the stage of planning, designing and implementation.
All too often donors have their own little silos, their own little furrows that they plough. And the idea that they might actually coordinate and find where they can work together more successfully, I think is entirely a good thing.
This workshop sought to achieve a common approach to development aid in fragile situations, to reduce the risk of armed conflicts and disasters, and to promote early recovery after a crisis has occurred. It also acknowledged the importance of developing the capacity of its staff members in the area of fragility and crisis management for achieving better results when tackling the challenges of security, fragility and transition. In this vein, between the 9th and 13th of September 2013, the EC DG DEVCO 07 Fragility and Crisis Management Unit, in close cooperation with other Commission services and the European External Action Service, and with the support of UNDP, USAID and the World Bank, organised the interagency workshop on strengthening cooperation in fragile and conflict-affected countries. The main purpose of this event was to learn about the EU and other development partners' work in fragile and conflict-affected countries, and to reach a joint understanding of how we evaluate needs and address the challenges of working in fragile contexts.
For me personally, it has demystified some of the elements of both the EU and the United Nations. I think it's really useful to get to know people outside of the conflict zone that I'm working in, and actually to meet people and build relationships with colleagues within the UN and the EU, how we can all work in partnership together for the benefit of the countries that we're working in.
Besides sharing practices and policies, the aim was to build up the critical and holistic thinking of all participants and to promote cooperative problem-solving and a teamwork spirit among the participants.
Things about, first of all, shared frustrations. I didn't expect that. I thought that UNDP, for example, was privileged to having access to all information and being very free from political interference. And I learned that this is not the case necessarily. They also suffer, if you allow me that expression, from big political-driven dictation almost of or directions of where to go and where to put the money and where and what to do.
Almost 70 experts from all four agencies, working in more than 20 of the most emblematic fragile and conflict-affected countries, attended this event. Haiti, Liberia, Nigeria, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi, Somalia, Yemen, Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Papua New Guinea, but also people that work on horizontal issues at headquarters.
So we could have opinions from different backgrounds, people, as we said, coming from delegations, implementing programs, and people working on policy. So that was very useful. And then we focus not just on theories. We also talked about what do we do, what works, how do we do it, and how we can improve it.
The results were much appreciated by all participants and resource people, and there was a consensus that only through sustained collective efforts can we improve the living standards of inhabitants of fragile and conflict-affected countries. Beyond networking and getting to know each other, participants shared their experiences in advancing the agenda of the New Deal, delivering on the peace-building and state-building goals, and identified innovative ways to strengthen the dialogue and collaboration in specific country settings.
That it is a very fruitful starting point for more intense collaboration between our agencies, because we actually think the same about how to do conflict analysis and why it's important.
A lot of agencies are actually doing similar things to what we're doing. On the country level, we do talk to the agencies, but sometimes those discussions are too short or not frequent enough. This workshop has provided an opportunity for everybody to get around and talk specifically about what they're doing and say, hey, look, maybe we should partner on this or that.
Amongst other feedback, respondents indicated that the variety of methods used in the different sessions, the efficient organisation and professional moderation, and the opportunity to network and exchange knowledge were valuable outcomes from the training, which will lead to ever more effective interagency cooperation.
So we need to have, at least some common messages, some, like at least coordinated approaches, because one agency cannot do everything. So we need to make sure that we complement each other and partner with each other when there is a value added to it.
All in all, this pilot interagency workshop showed the importance of working in close partnership with other bilateral and multilateral organisations, of reaching a far better understanding of who the others are and what they do, but also of learning about each other's strength and limitations.
See, it is extremely useful because you are bringing people from the headquarters who make the policy and the practitioners in also the field. And I think the exchanges between the people who have the practical experience in the field can help to design also the policy, because at times it seems to be very much a top-down. So I think the interaction here can have an impact on the policy orientations.
However, we cannot stop here. This is a process that will only end when children from fragile states have access to water and education, when the citizens of fragile countries feel safe and secure in their own country, when the state is able to protect its citizens' lives and rights, when the social contract will be well understood and respected.